Okay, let me see. Somebody said, if I'm going to look for a cybersecurity job in the private industry, do I still need a security clearance? Another security clearance question. So no, you don't. You don't have to have a security clearance in cybersecurity. So cybersecurity. First of all, let's talk about this. Okay. So cybersecurity is a huge field. So it's huge. It's not just working for the government. It's not just securing government systems or whatever. Cybersecurity is a huge field. It includes cryptography, crypto analysis. That's like encoding information, decoding, and breaking codes. Right. It includes forensics. That's digital forensics, where you're taking a hard drive and then looking at the data on the hard drive, looking at the ones and zeros to make sure you find certain information on there, right? You've got network engineers. You've got firewall administrators. You've got system administrators who put security features on systems. You've got compliance, which is what I do, cybersecurity compliance, which is like dealing with laws, regulations, things like that. You've got risk assessors. You've got security control assessors. You've got auditors. You've got, so you've got a whole realm just within cybersecurity. In that realm, in all these different categories, and there's hundreds that I didn't mention: information system security officers, information system managers, analysts who all they do is look at code. You've got security, software security people. You've got all kinds of branches and different categories of cybersecurity. So it's huge. In this huge field, you've got people who don't and who never touch anything that's classified. You have people who only look at PCI stuff, so they might not need a clearance. You've got tons of people in there who don't necessarily need a clearance. Quite a few of us do have to have a clearance because you're dealing with sensitive information. Sometimes you're at some point you may have to see an organization's information, right? So you're gonna have to see information that's sensitive or proprietary or something like that. And so that's why you do have a lot of us in here in this field that have some kind of clearance. And it's not always a top secret clearance or a secret clearance. Sometimes it's a public trust clearance. But yeah, I've had jobs where I didn't need a clearance. Like my last, let me think, couple of jobs ago, I didn't need a clearance. Just recently, I needed a public trust clearance, but a couple of jobs ago, I didn't need. That's a weird thing to say. A couple of jobs ago, I was a contractor for a long time. I was jumping from position to position, but like I don't know, a couple of positions ago, I did not need one at all. I mean, they asked me if I had one, but they never used it. I didn't have access to any kind of secret topsy, any of that stuff. I wasn't in a skiff. I wasn't none of that stuff. So to answer your question, no, you don't always need a clearance. There's tons of jobs that are doing cybersecurity where you don't need a clearance. Like if you're on a firewall, you don't necessarily need a clearance for a firewall. You're just blocking bits and bytes going through the network. You're not necessarily reading people's logs or anything like that. You're not touching proprietary information. So to answer your question, no, you don't always need a clearance to get into cybersecurity. It helps you to get jobs. That's why it's talked about a lot. If you're wondering, like, why does everybody talk about clearances? What's the deal with it? It makes you more money. So that's the reason why people talk about it a lot in cybersecurity, and that's why people keep asking me, because it's definitely a way to make more money. It's definitely a way to weed out a lot of people, because there's so many things that weeds out people. Number one, you got to be a U.S. citizen to get certain clearances. So that right there, you're not competing against any green card holders. You're not competing against anybody from any other countries. That just right away separates you from so much other competition. Another thing is not many people have them. Another thing is if you have it and you have IT experience, that's a whole nother, like it's just weeding out people, you know what I mean? So, and then like the companies and the organizations have less and less people to choose from. And that's why the clearance gets very valuable. And that's why the clearance actually adds to you potentially making more money. Okay, let me see. Looks like somebody said I skipped their question. Tony says, hey, Bruce, you skipped my question. I don't see your question. Here, did you ask your question here? I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it pop up. And I haven't gotten to my actual questions here. I'm gotten people asking me. Could you ask your question again, Tony? I'm not seeing it here. I see. Let me see. CEO says some private sectors require clearances. Yes, that's true. At 11:39. Let me see. Oh, you mean you asked the question in the comments here? Let me see here. It must have filtered out your question because I am not seeing it unless you're talking about the comments here. Let me see. And for those of you who are joining me late, I normally do these every week where I'm interfacing with people, answering questions directly where I can. And I haven't been doing this lately because I just been focusing really hardcore on training and getting courses out there, working on some big courses. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Here we go. And this is for 4 weeks ago. This is Tony Martins. I'm seeing your stuff from 4 weeks ago. I swear, man, I do not see your question anywhere from 11:39. I'm sorry. Okay, I see the one from 3 weeks ago though. If that's what you're talking about. Okay, I'm gonna keep asking questions. Tony Martins, you got to ask me the question over again.